What's up, everybody? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture. What is it? September 26, 2018. Sorry for that little delay. I didn't think it was live yet. Welcome to the channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Litecoin, mainly technical analysis. When will this consolidation end? And if it does end, where might we possibly land next? On the upside as well as on the downside. Some things to anticipate. We're going to talk about that. As always with these live streams, please see the timestamp below if you're a replay viewer, and what we'll do is we'll pin the comment with the timestamp of where technical analysis starts. So I want to kind of wait a second to see if this live stream is working properly. So if you're in here, please comment, because I was testing before I went live and was having some issues, so I'm going to give it a couple minutes here. And I'm just real quick trying to test on my phone to make sure it's working. So if you're in the chat, can you please chat and let me know you're here, because I'm getting this message. I'm getting a message on YouTube that's saying, okay, it looks like we have some people here. And can everybody hear me okay? What a weird start to a live stream. Sorry, everybody. But I'm getting this thing on the YouTube live stream health that it's making it look like it's not working. So I'm just going to get started. So obviously in a few minutes, we'll get started on technical analysis, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin and Litecoin and what's up with that. Before we do, we're going to give it a few minutes, before we get into that. And what I wanted to do is I have a couple tweets up, just kind of wanted to throw out there to you. So it looks like we have the Hive channel is here. Says we're sounding good. Looks like a lot of you are saying it sounds good. So what's up, Dale, Damien, Daniel, Dark Wiser, Balaz, Fabian? What's up? Appreciate all you guys commenting, because I was kind of getting a little nervous there. So this first tweet I just kind of wanted to bring up, and I'll kind of cruise through these tweets and then we'll get into technical analysis. I tweeted this earlier. So this was a post on CNBC, and basically it's this guy Scott on a live interview, basically talking about where he thinks Bitcoin's going, saying it's going to go to zero, but the next target for him, at least on the short term, is like $5,900 or something, which is fine. But totally doesn't believe in Bitcoin. But check this video out if you get a second. Let me know your thoughts. I don't get how sometimes you come across just interviews with people that don't like cryptocurrency, and they have like this anger to them. And I've been trying to figure out where does that anger come from. I just don't understand. I really just don't understand. So go check that out. I tweeted that like a little bit ago, a few hours ago. Found it interesting, so let me know your thoughts if you are on Twitter. Secondly, if you're not following Johnny Litecoin over on Twitter, please go follow him. John Moore, just really knowledgeable on the merchant side of things, the payment side of things, and he's been posting a lot of videos as of lately talking about the financial system, talking about cryptocurrency, talking about the problems with all the big banks. And I tweeted this one earlier because the dude was fired up. I wonder if I can play a little piece of it real quick. Let me see.
Why Litecoin? Why Bitcoin? How is it better than credit cards and the regular payment system? Folks, we are in trouble with this regular payment system. The time is now, all right? You can't even get information about your own accounts half the time from these people. They keep transferring you around. Even me as the back end company, right? It's almost impossible.
So true. Like, he just, as a business owner, when there's wires delayed, ACH is delayed, maybe a client is saying they sent the money and the bank should have it, and the bank they just have control. They have complete control. They could care less about you. They could care less about the business owner. So whether you are a business owner or just, a regular consumer, they literally don't care about you or your money, and it's crazy how much control they have of the money. That's kind of what John Moore is talking about.
Sometimes on a Litecoin transaction, I can get it instantly on the blockchain. Does everybody understand this? So the old way of doing things, they've made it so difficult for you to try to get any information about your own account. This is not to protect you. This is to protect them, okay? It doesn't protect you guys one bit. It makes everybody's life hell, okay? All this compliance and bullshit they put people through, it's a load of crap, all right? These companies suck, all right? Litecoin and Bitcoin is the answer because it's based on math.
There you go. I mean, John Moore kind of giving it to you straight. Fired up. Go follow him on Twitter if you are on Twitter. He's been putting videos out like this lately. What's up, Ryan Jack? And then next on Twitter, in case you missed it yesterday, obviously I put out a little rap. Definitely out of my comfort zone, but I threw it out there. If you haven't seen it, go check out my last video that I posted yesterday. I have to say, Derek Miner, who's like, he's my favorite musician, artist, rapper. He actually commented on my post because I kind of shouted him out as some inspiration. This is Derek Miner. He's one of my favorites, but I think I got a nod of approval from him. That made me extra excited. But what's really cool and why I'm bringing it up is we're launching the promo video probably in November, beginning of November, hopefully November 1st, for the Launchpad Foundation, and we're using Derek Miner's Launchpad song. So I'm really excited about that. But he was my little bit of inspiration when I was doing that rap song yesterday. So go follow Derek Miner if you're into rap music. So moving on, here we go. Doing some technical analysis for a video later today. I'm so close to being short-term bullish, and if you haven't, and if you've been watching my videos, you know that hasn't been the case. So this is most likely, if you're clicking the pinned comment, the pinned timestamp for where technical analysis starts, it's starting now. I'm going to get into the charts right now, but this is the tweet, and I said that mainly because I say I'm close to being short-term bullish because everybody knows I've been kind of really anticipating the downside. What's up, Rob? We have Rob in the house. It looks so different not seeing boiling point, but what's up, Rob? So everybody knows I've been kind of short-term bullish, and I think it's paid off for the most part, accumulating in the dips and the lower parts of these pullbacks that we've been getting. So I say I'm close to being short-term bullish because we really are close. If we make a move to the upside and break the most previous lower high on Bitcoin or even Litecoin, then it's going to be that first sign of bullishness that everybody wants to see in the markets. If it happens, I'm not sure, but I can say we're pretty close to that area. So let's jump in and talk about it in this technical analysis right now, around 8 minutes into the video. So I wanted just to start real quick, lay the foundation at Bitcoin, which is usually what we do right on the daily chart. One thing I wanted to point out that I found interesting is, and I think I meant to do this yesterday, the day before, but a lot of people were looking at this possible head and shoulders on the daily chart for Bitcoin. But I wanted to point out back on, I guess, September 8th, this was a few weeks ago, we saw support at the neckline, right? That's a very good sign. We didn't break the neckline, but maybe even more importantly, we came up, bounced off of it a little bit, and we actually retested the neckline again, and we saw more support. So the confirmation of that pretty large head and shoulders with a target of probably, $3,500 to $4,000 wasn't confirmed. So that's good news, right? So now we're kind of in this new pattern, that we're in this new wedge of higher highs, higher lows, and we have these targets we've been talking about for a while, and we're going to dig into them on the 4 hour here in a second. But really, the targets, and this is based around my tweet that I tweeted earlier about we're so close to breaking previous lower highs, and that's really what this video is about. Rob says things are getting really tight on the charts. Couldn't agree more, man. I really couldn't. I couldn't agree more. So we have this obvious Fibonacci channel, the 618 to 786 right there. pretty clear on the chart, right? That's like our next target on the upside. It is right where the upper trend line is, so look for resistance in that area. If we can manage to break through that area and approach this previous lower high, that's where the bullishness for me begins. So that's not that far. We're at like a $6,400 Bitcoin. This is a $7,400 Bitcoin. I mean, that can happen like this, but that first step is really breaking resistance in this channel right here. And I mean, it's such a clear, it's such a similar story to this previous area of resistance that we had going into that previous lower high, right? Approaching that 618 resistance and then bouncing off. So to dig into that a little bit deeper on Bitcoin, you can see right now, this is the 4-hour chart. You can really get a really clear picture of where Bitcoin is with these little higher highs and higher lows in this wedge, which I know many of you are looking at. So let's take out the Fibonacci just to get an idea of kind of what might happen next. So I have a little note here. It says could potentially be bouncing around here for the next week or two. And I say that, I don't mean it's going to happen, but it's a possibility simply because if you kind of take, first off, this Fibonacci that we just drew on the daily, and you take it and you apply it and you look at it on the 4-hour, right? And there's our 618 to 78, that 786 channel right there, resistance. So if Bitcoin kind of cruises up there over the next few days or so, or however long it takes to get there, we approach the top of that wedge, and if we actually bounce back down, we're going to have a new target again with a higher low down in this area. And this really could lead us into, the first week, second week of October. So it could take some time before we even figure out, well, outside of this wedge that we're in right now, which way is Bitcoin going to go? So make sure, I guess, your emotions are in check, going into today, tomorrow. I think it was actually even just earlier today, right? We had like a 5% green candle in formation, and I saw so many bullish comments, which is totally cool. I enjoy green daily candles. I get bullish too. I get excited when I'm driving around. I open the charts and I see we have a 5% green candle forming. But I mean, it's just part of the day-to-day, right? We just as quickly get the same red candles. So I think it's always important to keep the mental aspect in check. So for Bitcoin, I also have notes here, 5,500 to 5,800 targets on the downside, which basically, if you're looking at, I need to clear this so I can do this properly. If you're looking at the 4-hour chart, I have two reasons for that 55 to 5,800. Many of you know the overextension from the 200 EMA. But another reason is if we see some type of resistance, right? And we actually don't even approach this resistance area, but we actually see resistance at the 200 EMA or continued resistance here at the 50 EMA on the 4-hour. We might form what kind of looks like head and shoulders on the 4-hour chart here, where we actually test a neckline right there on this 4-hour, and this is what the head and shoulders would look like on this 4-hour chart. And the target really is the length, the height of this head, and to the downside, out of breaking from this lower trend line, what that looks like is $5,800 Bitcoin. So that's a target if that head and shoulder even forms, and for that to happen, we would need to see continued resistance at these levels, right? We can't break this head, which is this previous higher high. We'd have to stay below it, form a shoulder, and then break through the neckline. So, but it does play in pretty well to the other part of that target, which is the 5,500 target, which is simply, again, we talk about it all the time, it's that 25% overextension from the 200 EMA for Bitcoin. So 25% overextension leaves us right at $5,500. So on the downside, if Bitcoin were to break on the downside, $5,500 to $5,800 Bitcoin, that's looking like around a 10 to 15% loss in the market before we might see some support for Bitcoin. So just keep it in mind. I'm not saying I think it's going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but I always want to talk about the downside. Basically pivoting over to Litecoin. David William Bryan says, Dan's album Higher High in stores now. That's what I should have named. I did the whole video and then I was like trying to figure out what I should even name the song, but I feel like I should have named it Higher High. Man, I might change it. I'm going to change the title to Higher High. I like that, David. Thank you. Sergio says, hit that like button. I agree. Please hit the like button. Rob says, I'm expecting LTC to move a little without Bitcoin. It broke major year-long resistance on long orders and heading down on shorts. Also, price right at long-term falling wedge resistance. I did notice that, especially if you zoom out on the weekly, you can get a really clear picture of that falling wedge resistance that Rob's talking about. I guess Rob is pretty bullish, probably on the BTC LTC pair. Enyo, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but thanks for the subscribe, my friend. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by the live stream. I can tell it's a slower night tonight, but it's all good. I'm happy to be hanging out. I didn't even see Steven Herzog was here. What's up, man? Steven sees LTC at $75 to $80 soon. Man, Steven, you're so bullish, man. I don't know what to do with you. So, moving over to Litecoin, I have some things going on with Litecoin that I just wanted to talk about. So, Litecoin on the daily, you can really just see I have some notes. A close above 61.61, which is the 50 EMA, is kind of like that first target that I'm looking for. The last close, and I talked about this the other night on a live stream, the last close that we had above the 50 EMA on Litecoin was April 20th. So April 20th, what is that? That's like 6 months ago, right? So like we have not had a daily close above it. You can see a few days ago, we wicked above it on the daily, but we didn't close above the 50 EMA. So for me, even playing into Rob, what he just said about Litecoin looking bullish even apart from Bitcoin, for me, that first daily close that we get above 50 EMA is going to be extremely awesome. I think it's going to be an extremely good thing. So just measuring how close we are to that, 6%, close. So time will tell if it happens. And the other thing is, even in this actual current wedge that we're in, you can see breaking that 50 EMA would also mean breaking this previous higher high, which to continue this little pattern, we would need to do. So we will see. Maleka13, thanks for the super chat, $5 super chat, says, do you think Litecoin will ever break away from Bitcoin's trend? I do. I really do. I think it will take some time for a lot of altcoins, including Litecoin, to break away from Bitcoin's trend. It's like I even said yesterday in yesterday's rap video, Bitcoin is king, and until there's more acceptance and adoption of Litecoin and even other altcoins in the markets, until that happens and it's widespread, they're all going to really track closely to Bitcoin. However, the day is in the future, I believe, where it does kind of set itself apart. Wilson says, easy answer. Wilson also says, so what's your prediction for end of year? Oh my gosh, man, I don't even know. I really just don't know. Rob, eventually it has to based on math and Lightning Network usage. Good point. Drew Blood, 21 is here. Drew Blood, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming by, dude. I love your screen name. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Drew Blood 21. 21's a good number. So for Litecoin, that 50 EMA is huge for me, and I think if Litecoin is going to pop up from where it is now and break that 50 EMA, it's really probably going to break that next target, which is this previous the wick of this previous higher high of, where is it, like 61, or no, it's 63, and we talked about that $63 area in a couple videos ago. So that's a good one. By the end of this live stream, I promise I'll give you all a Litecoin prediction, because I know I said I would in my last live stream. So that's Litecoin on the daily. I also have a note down here, and we're going to get into it on the 4-hour. Previous high or low support outside of lower trend line is also between 618 and 786 channel. I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but I'm going to really illustrate it and show you what we're talking about on the 4-hour. But basically, the higher low support that we're getting outside of this wedge, if we do break down through the wedge, really acts as the first area of support. Jovan Biljon, thank you for the subscribe, man. Really appreciate it, and thanks for coming by the live stream tonight. So if we break through this wedge, this is the first area of support. We're going to talk about it on the 4-hour, but clearly it is the previous higher low in this wedge for Litecoin. But let's hop over to the 4-hour to kind of start telling that story, to really start seeing where Litecoin is, because it really is in an iffy area. It could go either way, and I hate saying that because I wish I had all the answers. Don't you just wish we all had all the answers? So I have first area support upon breakdown is the fib channel. And second area to look for is target break zone, which is the distance of wedge. So real quick, what I'll do first is I'll put the distance of wedge here. So here's this wedge that we were in last. There was everybody was bullish on the way up with these higher highs and higher lows, right? But we eventually actually, broke down through the wedge. But that target that we had when we were in that wedge was playing right into where we fell to. But the first point that I have on here, the first area of support upon the breakdown through that wedge is the Fibonacci channel. So the Fibonacci channel really was that swing low to the swing high, and you can see that we fell right to the 618 to the 786, and then we had a bounce, and we had like a short-term gain up, right? So like that was the first area of support, and it played really nicely into also the length of the wedge, right? So these target areas that we have are based upon a couple of different things, but they're really synergistic with each other. So same thing right now. We can do really the same thing. At this point, if Litecoin were to break the bottom of the wedge where we are right now, we can take the Fibonacci from that, and that's not the Fibonacci. We can take the Fibonacci from this swing low down here to this most previous high that we had, and we can see where's that 618 to 786 channel, and it is clearly right here. 618 to 786 channel is right there, and then if we measure the distance, of the wedge like we did in that last bear flag. Maleka 13 with another $5 super chat. Would you not agree that the huge fall from December last year scared away the majority of people? So will the whales make another splash this year? Good question. I'll answer that question in a second. Tech Lords with a LTC donation. Thank you, dude. I didn't even know you were here. Tech Lords. What's up, man? Appreciate that, LTC, man. I really do. And I appreciate your tweets every day. If you guys are on Twitter, please go follow Tech Lords. Please go follow all the mods that are in here. They're such cool dudes. But Tech Lords is always posting market cap and like kind of a brief overview of the markets. If you guys have any trouble at any time hearing me or seeing me, please let me know, because YouTube's saying that I have video output is low and it's not receiving video to maintain smooth streaming. So that's not good. Please let me know if it's all good, man. So we're going to measure the distance of this wedge for Litecoin that we're in right now. And we're going to measure the distance, and actually I already did it. It's this white line right here. So you can see that goes down to $44. That's our second target after that Fibonacci pullback. So for Litecoin, $45. We talked about this the other day. I'm really hoping you guys can hear me. So $45 target we talked about the other day. That's kind of what we're looking at for Litecoin. And on the upside, we're just simply looking to break previous higher highs. I just want something to happen because, you know, sometimes I've been debating the last couple technical analysis videos to even come and do a technical analysis video because, like, we're just in this pattern right now, even as it just consolidates tighter and tighter, like Rob said. And really, until something happens, all we can do is just prepare for it. And that's what we've been doing. We're preparing for it. So that's kind of Bitcoin and Litecoin on the downside as well as the upside. Those are our support areas. Litecoin, worst case scenario, if we get a really, you know, aggressive break through the bottom of the wedge, $45 I would say is that area to really be ready for. And then, you know, if we get a break above this upper trend line, then we have some bullish targets to really start talking about. So David William Bryan said, came here for the gangsta bars, stayed for the TA. I still can't believe I did that video yesterday. I really can't. So that was a good 20-minute technical analysis that we covered. But I mean, zoom out on the charts a little bit. We can even zoom out on the 4-hour. And you can see, I mean, we're in a very, very clear pattern that I'm pretty sure is going to break pretty soon, one way or another. Roadstar499 says, take a week off, man. I don't want to take a week off. You kidding me? I mean, unless you're sick of me, Roadstar. So with what you see on the screen, everybody, I would like to see, we're going to do a little press 1, press 2 thing. Press 1 if you think we're going to break the upside of this wedge. Press 2 if you think we're going to break the downside of the wedge, if you could. Because I want to see what you all think. Everybody knows I think what I think, right? But I want to see what you guys think. So press 1 if you're bullish to the upside of the wedge. Press 2 if you think we're going down. Wow, we got the bulls in the house. Tech Lords and Rob, I already knew they were going to press 1. I already knew. But then we got some bears. Catalin says 2. Mike's Fitness Journey 2. Wilson 2. Hive Channel 2. Joven Biljon 1. Drew Blood. I was wondering what Drew Blood was going to put, and he put a police car. What the heck? I feel like we definitely have some more bears. We have some more bears in the house ready for the downside. I mean, I don't know. Everybody knows I'm long-term bullish, right? I wouldn't be accumulating, but if you just look at the chart, it's just been constantly the same formation over and over. Like, look at this. Over and over. And each time at the end, after we do these technical analysis videos, we just keep breaking to the next wedge. Can you guys hear me? Stream resumed. Oh my goodness. I'm just reading your comments. I'm just staring at the screen as YouTube's like, we're going to upload your video now. And then I see you all talking. Man, I just need to stretch for a second. Excuse me, guys. YouTube, you're killing me. I don't know why. Like, I don't know how. I'm paying for the best internet possible in this area. And I can't believe this. Killing me. At least we're back on. Stream resumed, and it says it says we're in good health. So maybe like all the Litecoin and Bitcoin bulls weren't happy with my speech on how we've been in this downward trend, and I think it's smart to anticipate continued downward trend. However, I think it's cool, and I think it's okay to be bullish right now. I think it's just smart to be careful. That's all. So $45. nice little area, especially if you're trading, to look out for if you want to trade little Litecoin. But that's not something I recommend. This isn't financial advice though. So Kenneth says, I know you want 45, but seem like we're going to 65. So you think we're going to 65? What would be really good would be to break the upper end of this previous wedge at around 69.70. But time will tell. I can't sit here and predict, although I think I have to predict, because I said the other night I would throw a prediction out there. So Litecoin prediction. Let me see. Litecoin prediction. 40. Litecoin prediction is on the screen. Kind of going to zoom out a little bit. So where am I going to put this little Litecoin prediction? This is tough for a dude that doesn't do predictions. I don't know where to put this stinking thing. Rob's in the house. What's up, Eric? I love Rob. You're awesome, man. You're always calling for those thumbs up. Dude, Rob, $20 super chat. So what's actually funny is, in a couple minutes, I was just going to ask if you were still here, because I want to talk about your lottery thing that you're working on, because you're gaining some traction, my friend. And I know we're going to have you on the channel soon to talk about it, but I kind of want to put an organized effort behind what you're working on, because it's very interesting and it's very cool. So I have a client that is a Bitcoin gifting network. It's not a lottery, it's, but that aspect of doing these transactions, even their small transactions, for them it's like $5 transactions. It's huge. It's huge for cryptocurrency acceptance. It's huge for helping people even understand how to even do it, how to transact this currency. So appreciate what you're doing, dude. But we need to, even in this live stream, if anybody sees Rob right there, thanks for the super chat, dude. You didn't have to do that. If you have any questions that you want us to kind of prep for when Rob comes on the channel to talk about that, let us know what your questions are for Rob's Litecoin lottery. Lauren says, do you still maintain contact to Nakamotorized? No, I don't. I don't know actually where Nakamotorized went. I really don't. So Josh Wallace says, hopefully something changes soon. I'd hate to see this keep going sideways for months. Well, it's definitely a possibility, especially if you go to the weekly chart. Am I totally stalling or what with this Litecoin prediction? I don't know if anybody noticed that, but I just noticed it. I'm stalling. I'm a staller. Look at the weekly chart though. I promise I'm going to make a prediction. Look at this nice consolidate. You can't even see this with all this drawing that I've done. You know what? Let's go to Bitcoin. There we go. I think I meant to tweet this yesterday, because this speaks to the comment that I just saw. DrewBlood21 says, I have to catch up to Lou. You have to catch up to Lou with your Litecoin accumulation, Drew? $100. Rob says $100. I'd be thrilled. Seriously, it's all about halving for me. $80 by 4th, then back to 50. Oh, Drew Blood says Rob's Lotto. I have to take part in Rob's Lotto. I have to catch up with Rob. Where was that comment? So whoever just said, yeah, Josh Wallace said, I hate to see this keep going sideways for months. So I'm glad you brought it up, because that's really what happened. And this is a weekly chart, by the way, but that's what happened in that last bottom. We really were sideways, even though intermingled there were some serious gains, right? this is the bear market back here that we're on the weekly chart. And you can see, we get our price range. It was sideways. It was a sideways channel, but we're talking like 40% on the upside and downside swings. So we're currently doing something very similar. So be prepared for a few weeks, a few months of this sideways trading. But obviously, we've come such a long way. So prepare yourself mentally for what comes next, because I think we are getting closer to something. And if you look at the zoomed out chart, that something could very well be, and many people are bullishly anticipating it, right? Which is, and this is not perfect by any means, but very similar to this puppy right here, breaking through, breaking out on the weekly, higher highs, higher lows for years to come. So if that is in the cards, right, and if that is going to be happening, be prepared, maybe for some sideways trading, even leading into 2019 possibly, right, in this little area before a breakout like that. So get prepared mainly for accumulation. If it's something you're keen on, it's something I'm keen on. But so I brought up this chart to talk about the sideways trading piece that Josh just mentioned. But I also brought it up because I tweeted this, or I was going to tweet this like yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning, and I didn't. I took a screenshot but forgot to tweet it. And I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna do another question, one or two. Mexican Charlie Lee says Lou was cheating on you and was on Bitcoin Ben's live stream. Dude, that's okay. Do it, Poseidon Lou. Let's see how long you remain a mod for Crypto Capital Venture, dude. Already selling out. I guess Bitcoin Ben is cooler than me. I'm gonna have to send the shoes back. Where are the shoes? Sarah, get me a box and shoes. I have to send these shoes back to Poseidon Lou. I thought we were bros. And he's over. I see Drew Blood 21 is here. I see where the loyalty lies. Man. I feel like I need a drink of water because like I feel heartbroken. Poseidon Lou, my boy. Man. Bitcoin Ben. I can't hold it against Bitcoin Ben though. Stealing my best buds. Right from under me. It's cool. That's cool. Should change it to Bitcoin Capital Venture. Yeah, I mean, actually, you brought that up, and I was going to bring up this tweet that I tweeted probably like a couple hours ago. And I'm going to ask you specifically, Wilson. Oh, wow, Wilson, it really would be better on the search. I probably would like triple my subscribers rather quickly. But I can't sell out. This is my brand. I love it, Crypto Capital Venture. But the reason I wanted to ask Wilson is I just tweeted this a little bit ago. Data networks built on blockchain and data privacy are increasingly cool to me. Here's an article about a really interesting project. One of my clients is currently building on their testnet. So Enigma, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Enigma project, Enigma network. But really interesting project, and I'm working with like really cool clients that aren't Bitcoin related, really, right? They're really heavy in the data space, and they're really heavy in the privacy blockchain space, zk snarks, zero knowledge proofs, and I really want to start covering those things. I've been kind of having some trouble because, you know, I know a lot of you are here for Bitcoin and Litecoin technical analysis, so let me know if you're interested in those things, just so I kind of have it in the back of my mind. I think I asked this before. Lonnie Romero says, Dan sucks. That's messed up. KSEP says, Dan, auction the shoes. I think I'm going to. Drew Blood 21 says, loyal. I agree, man. Drew Blood 21, man. You're my boy. David William Bryan says, what's your Twitter name? My Twitter name is Crypto Recruiter, and that's recruiter with no E because I didn't have enough characters. Steven Herzog clearing throat about the prediction. I'm gonna get to the prediction. So Jovan Biljon says I'm for some Enigma talk. That's cool. Wilson says I'll be interested. Not familiar with it though. Me Sempster says a lot of green happening. I don't see a lot of green actually. Is there? What's the 4-hour chart looking like? So, and I know we're just kind of hanging out right now without a plan. And I hope that's okay, anybody that's still here. I know my streams aren't as good as Bitcoin Ben, obviously, because Poseidon Loose is sellout. Lonnie says, when Dan says prices will go up, it goes down. Dude, Lonnie's a hater. I think Drew Blood should, Drew Blood should do some work here. Do some booting. All right, so, yeah, not a ton of green right now, but I'm gonna do a prediction. So Litecoin, this is Litecoin on the 4-hour for the end of the year. I'm actually gonna go to the daily chart. I had a cough. Thanks, Drew Blood. Oh, that's what the police car is. That's awesome. David. All right, so end of year prediction. Man, I need some water desperately. End of year prediction. I'm doing it. I'm doing it within 60 seconds. I promise everybody. Man, you guys have to excuse me. I have to go get some water. Before I go get some water, I'm going to let you sit on this. My end of year prediction is $125 on the bullish side. And I'll be right back. I literally was choking. I was choking. I've been on calls all day with clients, and then I do this live stream, and I'm just I'm so ready to kind of rest. Steven says, Dan, don't choke on that prediction. That's it. I mean, that's my prediction. That's an extremely bullish prediction. I think it's so easy to look back and at the end of last year, right, and get that nostalgic feeling, right, even from November to the end of December with 600% gains, 700% gains. So from where we are right now, that would look like, let's just do right there. Excuse me, that would look like a $370 Litecoin. There are some people very bullish and thinking that we're going to get that again. I'm just not one of those people. So my bullish side would be that first nice little increase out of this crazy, terrible market that we're in. And to really get a good representation of what that looks like, we can just go really back to that chart that we were at on Bitcoin on the weekly. So Bitcoin on the weekly, when you see it entered out of that just ugly downtrend, right? So if this does happen in the next few months, we're gonna have a nice boost, right? So that's why I would say $125, possibly $150 if we get that nice first boost, that nice first higher high right? Everybody's feeling good. But that would be the beginning of a long-term uptrend, right? So my end of the year prediction means nothing if you take that a little bit further into 6 months into next year, because after a few higher highs, right, into that year, we could be at a whole nother level. So those are just my thoughts. You know, that 120, 125, I think is a nice target on the bullish side. I didn't even do a prediction on the bearish side, but I guess that's not a prediction, right? I don't know. Lawrence says, Dan, I don't think 4-hour and daily charts are reliable indicators for crypto. Once Wall Street got its footing in the door, all the normal rules went out the door. Lawrence, I definitely appreciate what you're saying, but I have to disagree, because I don't know if you've been watching videos for the last few months or so, but we've really anticipated these dips almost to a T using, you know, classic indicators like the stock RSI, the momentum oscillators, as well as using the Fibonacci channels 618, 786. So I think the 4-hour and daily are actually awesome, at least for the short term, to get an idea of where it might be nice to accumulate. So anyway, back to, I'll end with this. I was laying in bed like yesterday morning, and I just had this chart up, and I was looking at it, and I was going to tweet. I was going to say I look at this chart a lot. This is the weekly chart zoomed out on Bitcoin, and I just stare at it, and I'm just like, I feel like it should tell me what's going to happen next, but it totally doesn't. Mainly because we're literally in the middle of this like huge channel, right? And so it's a perfect picture zoomed out of the indecisiveness of the markets. It's a perfect picture of the consolidation that we've seen from this all-time high. It's a perfect picture of why on social media you literally have even people that are just, they love cryptocurrency. Everybody's torn. There's so many bulls and bears. And this is the perfect picture because we're literally right in the middle. There would be way more bulls probably at this point accumulating if we were down here, like $2,000, $3,000 or Bitcoin. There would possibly be a lot of bull or bears up here calling for resistance at a 50,000 plus Bitcoin, but we're not. We're in the middle, and everybody's torn, and nobody knows what to do. I gotta get off this live stream because it's incredibly laggy, and I apologize for the low quality. Man, no wonder Poseidon Lou is no longer here with us. I'm gonna have to end the live stream. Sorry, everybody. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I appreciate anybody that came here to hang out tonight, Wednesday. It's around 8:30 Eastern. Appreciate all of you. Grateful for each and every one of you. Drew Blood 21, Herzog, Rob. Appreciate you guys coming by the channel, and everybody else that has come by. And there's Poseidon Lou. Unbelievable. Poseidon Lou. I hate to say it, but Sarah's packing up your shoes right now, man. We gotta send them back. I'm gonna send them to Drew Blood. So appreciate everybody who came by. Let me know your thoughts. If you are a replay viewer and you're somehow actually still watching, I highly doubt that. But thank you everybody for coming by for the 30th time. I'll see you in the next video, and God bless.